Be cool if there was a countdown.
Let me move this. I could do a countdown.
A countdown
I guess.
for the video feed.
Yeah. I don't know. The fact that I have this one thing already, I'm pretty happy with. Let me move this camera angle.
No, yeah, this is pretty.
I'm not discounting
pretty
the cool thing that you did. Kara did.
Yeah, Kara.
Hey, it'd be cool if it was better.
Oh
shit.
Man. Yeah, it's not good enough though. It's not good enough. Got to do a countdown still. Is everything working? Looks like everything's working.
Hope so. This is my whole day has been stuff not working. So
yeah. So do you want to fix stuff live right now if it's not working?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
I fixed the stuff that I had to work.
Can you hear out of both ears?
I can actually. I'm surprised.
Well, I put the other side over there so you can fix it too if you want
that's
to.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week it was just me fiddling with it the whole time.
I like when you fiddle with stuff over there.
Uh-huh.
That's nice. That's real nice.
Oh, are we live?
Yeah.
This is how it goes now.
I just switched it over. I just switched it over.
I don't know.
Morning. Welcome to Don't Beat the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
And we're joined by our special guest host,
Mallory.
Hi, Mallory. Hello. Wait. Fuck. I'm not ready.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It goes on so long.
Yeah, it's way too
Well,
long.
that was my applause, so.
That was, yeah. I mean, well, it should go for a while then, I guess, yeah. Cool. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Did you put that whole thing in there?
Yeah. I have a large
Was she not
Diet
supposed
Coke.
to?
No, it's fine to do that. This is just a lot.
Do you remember the night we ended the night with one of those?
Yeah.
And literally ended our nights. It was like that was
No,
a
no,
fucking
no.
mistake.
It ended the nights because it was like that was like what?
It doesn't taste like a Coke anymore.
It was like fucking like what, like 3 a.m. or like 4 a.m. and it was like, all right, let's end the night. Let's take a shot of this Fireball, but that's not a shot. That's more than a shot.
I was gonna say that looks like 3.
Yeah, and so we all took a shot of that Fireball, and
Who's
it was
counting?
like, and I had a brunch gig the next morning.
Yeah. And did you almost throw up?
Yeah.
Sorry to say that on the air, but
That's the thing that happens.
The brunch cake was at this like super fancy Italian place too. So like what's the like? It sounds like the last thing I want when I'm super hungover is like really thick fancy Italian food. And then I was like
creamy pasta. Like this is delicious.
And then they were like, well, let's get you like a little hair of the dog like mimosa. And I was like, sick, that sounds awesome. And then they pull the glass. It's like champagne up to here, and then like just a spritz of orange juice. It's like, fuck this. This is so stupid.
A hint of orange juice.
Yeah. yeah. But yeah, those fireballs are legendary in this house. So we are joined by a special guest host today. Jackson abandoned us. We're joined by Mal. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm y'all's coworker and good friend.
Yeah.
I play music too. I feel like pretty recently have gotten a lot better at guitar and bass. I did clarinet at UNT, so got lots of different genres to talk about, but a few I really like a lot more than others.
Such as?
Well, I mean, I don't play any hip hop myself, but I like that genre a lot. Also love classical music, so maybe some genres you guys like a little better than I do.
What genres don't you like? That's the spicy question.
Wow, yeah. Not that, when I was a kid, it was the classic, actually no hip hop, no country when I was really little.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd say I never had an emo phase. So that music kind of escapes me. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to incense anybody.
It's great that you're the host here and Jackson is not here.
Yeah.
It couldn't be better.
Although he's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Oh yeah, he's
in the
probably
chat.
mad.
He's in the chat.
Jackson couldn't be here today. He's shattered.
He's what's his last name in the chat? Axe John.
It's Axe John Russo in the
Yeah.
chat. Axe John Usro.
Usro.
Usro. Axe John Usro.
Yeah.
I'm right here. He threw up.
Yeah, it is a good replacement to have you here instead of Jackson. Then, if you never had an emo phase, that's very good.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't even know what it is.
He went and did a field report from the emo festival.
Yeah,
That's how committed he is.
A Warped Tour? I don't know. See, I wouldn't even
when we
know.
were Young Fest.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
happened recently.
yeah, that
Super
was his
fun.
field report.
No crowd crush? Did that happen? No.
No.
People were saying it was going to happen because it was such a big lineup. But
No, just the first the festival was a day long festival, but they like did it over like weekends, and the first day was canceled.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because of winds that were like actually horrifying. So that was,
that would have been a big problem.
yeah. That could have been like a horrible problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely cool. Well, do you guys want to just dive into what we're talking about today? What you
Let's
guys
do
think? Cool. So I sent. I thought since we we've been uploading to YouTube now for a little bit. Well,
Almost a month?
No, we've been streaming for
20
a month,
episodes
yeah.
maybe.
20 episodes
Probably.
uploaded?
Maybe
I don't know.
more.
It's been a good chunk of episodes uploaded onto YouTube, and then we've now been live streaming on YouTube. This will be the third or fourth time. So I thought that we've done in the past, we talked about Spotify, we've talked about TikTok as we've joined the platforms. Now that we're like joining more into the YouTube platform, figured it'd be nice to talk about YouTube and its effects of the music industry, what it has done to the music industry, its history, all that kind of stuff. Before we go too deep into it, what do you guys feel about YouTube and the music industry? What does it mean to you? What does that mean to you, Dave?
I don't really have an opinion on it in terms of the music industry and stuff like that. I think it's definitely a platform that is super helpful for artists if it's used effectively. But the thing I love about it the most is just the backlog of like any fucking random performance you can think of. You can just go find it on YouTube.
Yeah, whether it's
crazy.
official or somebody just recorded it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's actually something I didn't have in my notes. I didn't think about that.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Adam.
I think of people who, I know there's people who listen to music and like that's how they get it is on YouTube, and that seems very weird and strange to me.
I agree.
But if it works for you, then cool. But I think Dave's point is more interesting to me, is like the historical everything is there that you could possibly want to go find.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mel?
I forget about the live performance aspect of it. Like, I remember it being around. I remember when every artist had a Vivo channel, and that was like the thing. And if the video wasn't on the Vivo, then they didn't have that like corporate licensing, and that was like the mark of like, I'm releasing this independently for the most part. So, and then thinking now that there's no Vivo channels, I was actually wondering, might Google.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
They went away?
Well, maybe YouTube bought them. I was actually just thinking, I didn't have time to Google it.
Yeah, I think
before
I
started.
I thought it was always YouTube who owned it, but maybe not.
I think I remember
Ooh,
it
that
being
would
a
be
thing where they
interesting.
just eliminated like the concept of
yeah,
them.
because it's
They
confusing.
gave people their official channels, I think is what it was,
Yeah.
but I can't remember.
Rapper Viper the Rappers right now is like an unofficial, it says Viper Rapper Vivo, but it's like not Vivo because first of all, like we were just saying, doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
But I just think that's really funny.
interesting.
Yeah, I guess you could just upload it like
Yeah.
just put the watermark on your music videos. It's like, this is our Vivo channel.
Those are Vivo.
That's
What
good.
the fuck are you going to do about it?
And then secondly, as far as music goes, I think with YouTube, especially like older YouTube, I think of things like OK Go, like where those music videos went super viral. They get viral through YouTube, etc. I think Justin Bieber, right, found on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
there's
guess
that.
YouTube kind of saved like music videos too after
Yeah.
MTV.
Oh, for sure.
An older man was up late watching videos of young children on YouTube and made him famous.
And that man. Who was he? I don't want to say the wrong person.
Yeah, go ahead and take one. Go ahead and take Cancel Buck.
I can't remember his name though.
Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
wasn't it Scooter
Yeah,
Braun?
Scooter Braun.
I thought it was Usher.
Well, I think Scooter Braun found Justin Bieber's YouTube, and then Usher was the one that was like pushed him into the actual.
Like, I love that
Spotlight.
kid's YouTube.
Cool. So before we go too deep into more of these specifics, I thought we could talk some YouTube streaming numbers because that's always fun, right? Numbers. But some of these numbers aren't going to be direct from 2022. Some maybe from 2021. But some of these are pretty interesting, I thought. As far as subscribers go, like YouTube Premium, YouTube Music users, like you said, Adam, I find that very strange. People use like YouTube Music.
Yeah, it's just very much like you don't have your own library, which I know you really don't on streaming services anyway. You
Right.
just save stuff, but like it doesn't even feel close. It just
Yeah.
feels strange.
But I have a number of friends who exclusively use YouTube for music, and they are subscribed, and they have about 80 million subscribers for YouTube Music, and that's as of I believe November of 2022.
Compared to like 300 million on Spotify or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
it's in
that's-
the billions now.
Well, their subscriber base is going to be closer to 200 million for Spotify.
Like paying
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah. So it's
That's a lot of people on YouTube then.
well, so that's the crazy thing. So Spotify has about 456 million active listeners, like monthly active listeners. So it's still a lot. So that's people that'd be a little over 200 million who aren't like paying for it, right?
Yeah.
Freeloaders.
Well, I think the number I actually did recently see was like for every paying subscriber, there's 16 non-paying subscribers on Spotify.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So then I don't. Again, this is not super duper recent, but at least within the last like year or so, there are 2.5 billion users on YouTube listening to music.
Wow.
Yeah. So the hard thing about that is I don't know what that counts for. Like, did you watch one music video?
Yeah, does that mean you played music once?
Yeah. Because I know that I count as a music user on YouTube because a lot of times like it'll load better than like faster than like Spotify or Apple Music will in like our lessons.
In
right?
lessons.
Yeah. So I'll use YouTube for those sorts of things, but like I'm definitely not like a YouTube music user. Like it's not never gonna be my go-to for how I want to listen to music.
Dude, I got sidetracked mentally for a second there because I was thinking about you, like how bad the cell phone reception is in our lesson rooms.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about you like putting it on airplane mode and taking it back off. And I
Yeah.
was doing that in a lesson the other day with a younger student.
Yeah.
And I felt like the oldest fucking person on the planet. Because it's like, if you put it on, did you know if you put it on airplane mode and turn it back off that it like helps with service? And the kid was like, no.
Yeah, when you mention to a kid that we don't have Wi-Fi, their minds get blown.
Yeah.
They really don't think that that's like possible or okay at all. They
just
hate
go,
it.
what's your Wi-Fi? It's like, I don't have it.
Yeah, my mind
I
gets
have
blown
one.
by that at least
I
once a week
didn't
too.
know that y'all didn't have that. That seems like
Criminal?
bad.
Yeah,
that
criminal.
seems like a problem because you're having to teach music off of videos
In
right?
our big
Like, in some
concrete
cases.
building.
Yeah.
Google works okay for me personally.
Yeah, I've
saying.
had pretty bad luck with all of it, but you know, so YouTube in the past year, or I guess like in 2022, had said to have paid over $6 billion to the music industry. So that's a pretty hefty payout compared to Spotify being just over $7 billion.
That's just over $7.
Well, so their payouts to artists roughly average out to be the same, but YouTube has a different way with like the ad revenue where they can pay more like aside from just the stream amount. So if you just take the stream by itself, it'll pay roughly the same like 0.003 to 0.005 of a cent. So it'll be that, but YouTube has this like extra ad thing that helps pay for like this, that helps give all smaller artists stuff, which is pretty cool. It kind of helps like this is the kind of thing that I wish I could figure out. I wish that if there was a way to tell how many indie artists were on YouTube, because being an indie artist on YouTube seems a lot easier than Spotify. Like there's the reach that you have, it's free to upload. Like the way to like the algorithm seems to be a lot more solid than on Spotify. Like Spotify's algorithm for Discover is awesome, but it won't always include or really ever like smaller things. Where YouTube seems to kind of like, I'll get suggestions for shit with like 30 views on it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have to have a better algorithm, wouldn't you say? Because it's not just music.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this year
Just
like
a bigger platform. In
the sheer
general.
number of videos you could go watch is
Yeah.
I don't know
How
what
many
it is, but
videos
it's
are
got to
there on
be
YouTube?
Oh God.
yeah, it's got to be like a crazy high
Limit
number.
does not exist time. Yeah. I was thinking earlier as far as like, you know, you were saying it's a little confounding like why people would use YouTube for streaming. And I feel like there's a certain culture of person that streams music on YouTube. And it's always that they are looking for things that are a little bit out, because the things sometimes that you find on YouTube are not available for licensing on Spotify.
Yeah.
So you'll find a lot of like international records. There's usually like a specific wormhole that for me gets suggested fairly often. I feel like if you watch like one Adam Neely video, they're gonna send you like I'm trying to think of the name, Cassiopeia. Like they'll show you some different like jazz, Japanese fusion. Often is like I feel like the in for it. And then there's lots of albums that if I want to listen to it, I have to go to YouTube because I can't stream it elsewhere. So I think that's a niche that for certain like a lot of people value.
Well, and like the tagging system that YouTube has for your own content can go really, really in depth. What you can put your content as can go just as broad as like Like I put sometimes like we're like a music YouTube like a music like podcast thing, and sometimes I'll put like what we talked about, and sometimes I'll like pick a funny sentence that was said and use that as like a tag in our video, and that can like expand what your reach is. It maybe hasn't for us as much, but it can.
That's why that one video has 30 views. Apparently, it would take 9.36 billion minutes to watch every video on YouTube.
What do you guys do next
I don't
weekend?
know how to quantify that.
That's
I don't know how to do anything with that number. It's too high.
No,
so.
it's
Yeah,
unfathomable.
That's crazy. So that's kind of most of what I had for like the numbers and like the payout stuff. I do think that because it is easier to be on YouTube, like it does kind of suggest itself more to being an independent artist. But at the same time, like there's always going to be, the give and take of it all. So I have the next thing I have is talking about the stars that have made it from YouTube. Okay. So I do have one game question for us, and this is it. Okay. So which one of these famous artists were not discovered from YouTube? Okay. There's a more than 4 options.
Okay.
A, Justin Bieber. B, Owl City. C, Carly Rae Jepsen. D, Pentatonics. E, Charlie Puth. And F, Adele. I'll read them one more time. So the question was, which one of these famous musicians were not discovered from YouTube? A, Justin Bieber. B, Owl City. C, Carly Rae Jepsen. D, Pentatonics. E, Charlie Puth. And F, Adele. There can be more than one answer to, I guess I should say.
I'm going to guess Pentatonics.
Okay.
I guess Adele.
You said I can pick more than one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Owl City and Adele.
Damn. Mal got it all right.
Ooh, yeah.
Pentatonics was a huge YouTube thing.
But they
Huge.
were on a music game show. Like an American Idol.
They got
thing.
discovered as an a cappella group, like
Right.
through
Through
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, because they went on. I believe it was
They're from
America's-
Arlington, right?
Yeah, Arlington, Plano. So there's one that's from Oklahoma, but they all went to like college together, I guess. But I believe they like got their biggest push from America's Got Talent. But they were starting on YouTube. And that's where they.
That's like they
yeah.
got on to the
Yeah.
various shows or
Yeah.
whatever they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the other? Owl City?
Owl City was MySpace.
Do I know any of their songs?
Fireflies.
That's the only
You
song
would
you
not
would know.
believe your eyes.
Oh, that one.
And I know.
Keep going. It's warm. It's
is warm.
Already?
Taking off my shirt.
It's been warm. Yeah.
I remember seeing that, that was the big video on Vivo. So I'm like, they couldn't possibly have gotten discovered on YouTube. 'Cause
Yeah.
The first video I saw of theirs was Owl City Vivo. So
Yeah, so for a lot of these artists, like for Justin Bieber was that example we were talking about earlier. Justin Bieber got discovered on YouTube by Scooter Braun and Usher. But then like taking it a step further, Carly Rae Jepsen was, I think that she was seen by Scooter Braun, and Justin Bieber was like, she's great. And then like he was like he gave her the push for Call Me Maybe, which I did not realize came out in 2011.
Oh fuck! Really?
Not like last year.
When did Rebecca Black come out with Friday?
probably like 2009 because I
had
was
to-
in a grade.
It had to have been when I was in high school.
It was all
still.
about the same time.
Yeah, it had to have been when I was in high school.
Yeah, I think 2011.
11.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, I
the
wasn't in
same
high
year.
school.
Call Me Maybe and Friday.
What a formative year.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, that's important stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's really, really important stuff. I feel like with Owl City coming off of like the MySpace thing, like I feel like MySpace and YouTube, they were happening kind of at the same time, but they were like doing different things for different scenes.
Yeah.
There
Well,
was-
and one of them is still like super relevant, obviously. Whereas,
Yeah.
MySpace?
yeah.
Well, they tried to go back to being a music
Yeah,
app.
they
Do you
did,
guys
though, yeah.
remember that? Yeah.
Didn't Justin Timberlake buy it?
Did Justin Timberlake
really funny if he did.
die by MySpace?
He still.
I don't think that's true.
Did he die?
We didn't do a Dave's Death Corner about Justin Timberlake, so I think he's still good.
Yeah, we would have known.
Oh, I would be upset. I would be very upset about that.
Who owns MySpace?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it was
no.
like Fox News or somebody.
The Vanderhooks.
Okay, where that?
See, key people Tim Vanderhook, Chris Vanderhook, and Justin Timberlake.
So he did buy it off
he
of
did
Fox
buy it.
then. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, that's cool. It didn't work,
Yeah.
but that's cool.
Yeah.
I got it right.
Interesting.
The day Justin Timberlake, I'm playing Suit and Tie so many times. I'm gonna be there crying.
I'll probably just be crying anyway. I don't know. I guess suit and tie would probably
I wear
sexy
a suit and
back.
tie to the funeral.
Yeah, sexy bag. That's what they're gonna sing if it's like a Christian funeral. Like he's bringing sexy back. Like the Gregorian chant style singing.
One more time. What
I
was
can't
that?
do it. You can do it better than I can.
No, I could
He's
not.
bringing sexy. Gregorian chant, dude.
These other friars don't know how to act.
Oh, that's good. Sorry. Do you guys want a shot?
Sure.
You
I'll
won
do
the
a shot.
game.
I know,
so-
we won, yeah,
you
but-
won the game, so you don't have to.
My roommate Dana said Justin Timberlake also played the guy that made Napster in The Social Network. Very important.
That's a good point.
Hey,
actually.
Hey, that's kind of a fun parallel, though.
That's an easy thing to like mix up too. I could see if that's where you.
I
were
mean,
going.
I've seen
I
that
know you
movie
weren't,
once.
but he did it IRL too.
Yeah.
That movie also
maybe
made
he was
me
inspired by
cry.
the movie.
Oh,
Social Network made you cry.
Yeah, I remember that scene that
Jesse.
Mark Zuckerberg couldn't get the girl.
Did
Remember
you
that?
feel bad for him?
Oh, I felt so bad for him, man.
Do you still feel bad for him now?
Yeah.
I feel like there's
Poor
certain
guy.
face that Jesse Eisenberg can make, and I just get a little sad though.
Most of them?
Yeah, like his lip quivers.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, to Jesse.
Cheers.
Hope you're happy, bud.
Hope you got the girl.
I don't know if he did. So anyway, there's an endless number of stars, endless number of people. Oh, didn't like it.
That was
Wasn't good.
Interesting choice.
It's Jameson cold brew.
I've
Jameson
seen that.
cold
I've
brew.
never wanted to actually spend the money to buy it.
I'm tasting the
it's
cold
actually
brew,
pretty good,
and
though.
I am tasting the Jameson.
I was really tempted multiple times, and then actually a student of mine told me, "Hey, you should try this," and I went for it.
Gave it to you.
How'd you get this, kid?
So there's a lot of stars that have obviously come from YouTube. Is there anyone that you guys have followed that has like blown up? Maybe like not necessarily directly from YouTube, but like maybe you found them on YouTube, or it was like part of the discovery.
It's not really. I mean, they didn't get crazy. I don't want to say that they didn't get crazy big, but I remember like Pomplamoose being a big thing when I was younger, and that too, I think is such a cool genre of thing that you can do really solely on YouTube, because it's like you could always produce those tracks and upload them somewhere, but it was so much about the process too, which made it so fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're still, I think they're very enduring. I think just the concept, and lots of people now do that content on TikTok, and I just always
Yeah.
feel like I come back to them in terms of like the model.
Yeah, they're one of my first thing that comes to mind as well for like YouTube music, because they were probably the first indie like music artist that I saw on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, it turned into like Pomplamoose is still a band, but Jack Conte is the other half of that band, right?
Yeah.
And he owns Patreon, and he owns what's the
big podcast, right?
Well, he has
Dead Wax.
He has the Scary Pockets. Yeah, he has Scary Pockets. You haven't
know
seen
what
Scary
that is,
Pockets?
no.
Okay, well, it's
gonna
great.
blow your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
excited.
It's a thing that he puts together of like a bunch of like really great musicians from everywhere, and then like he'll pick like a guest singer, and they'll do like a funk cover of this song, but it's all sorts of different styles, all sorts of different musicians.
Fun.
It's a really great thing. So he continued doing his whole thing and like basically built like an empire out of like off the heels of Pomplamoose even. Adam, is there any?
I was trying to think. I can't think of any really other than like
Bowie.
If I've seen. Yeah. Yep.
He really blew up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? The only thing I can think of is anybody that I've found for like stuff like Tiny Desk. I can't think of any offhand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Tank
that's
and the
like a
Bangas,
cool-
I remember.
Yeah.
And they're like from Louisiana too. I always thought that was so cool because they, won the contest, and then it was versus just like I'm a big artist and I'm doing a
Yeah.
Tiny Desk. I always think that's a really cool process.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a number of I think actually like through those kinds of series like Tiny Desk, that's how I found, aside from like Pomplamoose and probably like a few others, but that's how I found most of like the YouTube artists that I really like, is through things like those series like Tiny Desk, and like the Scary
Yeah,
Pockets
and,
thing.
and even like KEXP uploading their
Yeah.
live sessions and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
that
there's
too.
plenty of artists that I've found through there that I probably would have found out otherwise, but that's an easy like in, because you get 20 minutes of their music, and if you like it, you go listen to more. So
yeah,
And Paste.
yeah,
Paste is also really cool.
copy.
Shut the fuck up.
You want to do this?
No.
All right.
I can't read. You know I can't read.
Yeah, you can. I can't read. I'm having a hard time with this. These symbols look very confusing.
We taught you a little bit before. Just stick to what we taught you.
Yeah. All right. We'll try. So we're gonna move past the stars and now talk about specifically YouTubers. So Dave, how many videos are there again on YouTube?
800 million? I think?
No, 9 billion, right?
No.
Oh.
It would take that long to
Oh.
watch.
Yeah, that was how
okay,
many minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There-
Jackson said this is Tay's on day erasure. I guess he didn't think we talked about meme songs. Do you have that later? Or should we talk about it now?
That's a good point. There is.
He's not here. He's not fucking here.
He's leading it. He made fun of me for having Diet Coke and not Dr. Pepper.
He's not here right now. This is fucked up. This is.
We've been ignoring the chat on purpose.
I ignore him. So how many did you say? How many?
800, roughly 800 million.
Yeah. So there's a fuck ton of content creators. There's a fuck ton of YouTubers, people who make the content. So actually, Adam, I don't know. Do you watch YouTube much?
I don't, and I don't know why. I feel like something's wrong with me not understanding the appeal because I don't get it.
He still watches VHS tapes.
No.
Do you?
No.
What about Blu-ray?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anything to play any of those in my house.
That's okay.
It's
Okay.
kind of a problem recently when I had to burn some Blu-rays for my wife for her work.
How did you do it?
I had to buy a Blu-ray because I was like, I don't have a way to do this, and then I realized I don't have a way to test it either, so I had to borrow somebody's PlayStation. So, yeah, I don't do any of that.
It's a
I don't
really
know.
expensive Blu-ray burner.
Sorry, Jackson said big boomer energy.
I mean, that's kind of on brand for me, right?
You're not a boomer.
I don't understand YouTube though.
Well, that's fine. That doesn't
Although I
mean
guess
you're-
boomers use YouTube a lot, probably.
Oh,
Well,
they do.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So aside from Adam, what are some music YouTubers that you guys like? I have a long list, but I'll let you guys go first.
Yeah, I like the Scary Pockets videos.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Adam Neely,
Yep.
Rick Beato. Mal, what do you think of Rick Beato?
I think you just said a sleeper phrase. We're going to come back to that.
Mal, what are some music YouTubers that you like?
The ones I like?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Charles Cornell. He's a piano guy.
Yeah.
I think his videos are so clean and very approachable. He has this really cool one about like jazz theory and the Pokemon soundtracks, which is I just feel like he really puts something together that's very glossy. It sounds great. And then he actually sounds really good on piano too, which is really, really fun to listen to. And I do like Adam Neely as well.
He's that guy you just mentioned is super like cheerful and happy.
He's so charismatic.
Yeah.
He's
I
so
remember when
great.
he was doing like, well, they're not like reharms, but he would do like harmonizations of like meme videos.
Yeah.
And he got super big on that on TikTok. I remember watching him get super big on TikTok. And then he moved to YouTube and I was like, correct move. And he did great with it. His videos are super high quality. They're very, very cool. And I just think he does great things with that.
Yeah, he's awesome. There's I of course have Adam Neely, Charles Cornell written down. There's the was it the punk rock MBA? I don't know if you guys have watched that much. It's very
Jackson
very good.
sent me some links.
Yeah, very very good. Another music theory guy, 12 Tone. He's the guy who like writes down while he like
The little
everything explaining.
elephant,
yeah. Anthony Fantano, Needle Drop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do quite like the way he reviews now. It took me a long time, but now I like him.
We've talked about this before, but I can't listen to a review of an album that I like
that's
until I've heard the album and I'm like, I've formed my own opinion. I'm gonna go see what he says about it.
Yeah, I've changed my opinion on him quite a lot. I very much enjoy what he does, especially with how much work and effort he puts behind everything.
Yeah.
It's like clear that he is like, he listens to the albums so much and writes in very detailed notes. It's very nice. And there's like I don't know if you guys like specific like music YouTubers for instruments aside. Like Charles Cornell's obviously does like the piano thing, but like for me, like I like Sat Grooves. He's a really great drummer. I like Drumeo obviously is another
Yeah,
great, like
I love that channel too. That's great.
yeah.
Especially when they get the really good drummers to play a song without ever having heard it.
Yeah.
They'll listen to it once and then they play it.
Yeah. But so the whole point of like talking about these things that like, you know, there's there's so many, and this sounds so obvious, but when I was like thinking about this, I was like, this is, of course, this is what you can do, but you can like basically make your own like TV channel with all the fucking YouTubers that you like, and you can like we were talking about earlier with like the nicheness of the content. You can go into such like detail of what you like and really pick every aspect of everything you want to go through. So if you just want to watch like live footage, you could just find like the best channels for that, or just go to the specific things and just like have that all laid out. If you want to watch a bunch of music theory stuff, you can do that. I think that it's like as far as like that side of YouTube for musicians, it's really, really empowering. But also there is like always a negative to these things. I think a lot of people watch these videos and think that they can just get a music education through watching these videos.
YouTube University. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing even outside of music.
Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, I guess it's unrelated, but kind of related. Like I get most of my I learned mostly about tech through YouTube.
I think a lot of people do. Yeah.
Yeah, but like as like a tech guy, like is that frustrating?
No, I mean I don't care. If you're interested in something, then that's how you get into it. Then that's cool. So
yeah, I guess to me, I think that there's a lot of YouTube University musicians, and I'm just like, wow, like couldn't you have just maybe done anything, read a book, or done
Read
something,
a fucking book, dude.
do something else outside of just watch a bunch of YouTubers? Because like I don't know, I just feel like a lot of them are great, but you're gonna always be missing something in this process.
Yeah, I think it's a good for any kind of YouTube video or of any kind. It's like a good intro to a thing, and it's not gonna make you an expert in the topic, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever seen those Expert Village instructional instructional things? They're just like, they hired these people to like teach certain instruments, like walking bass, and the guy's like, this is how you walk the bass, and it's like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And it's like Expert Village. They tried to make it look super legit.
Is he just like figuring it out as he goes?
No, I mean, it's like they were like, you have 2 hours to mess with this before we're going to shoot this video. There's one where he
I feel like you should be able to figure anything out in 2 hours.
not the stand-up bass, dude.
Well, enough to like make it look like you know what you're doing.
My fingertips are coming off.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, not in 2 hours.
No.
How long would you say?
To really figure out the bass?
Sure.
Yeah, like 3 hours.
Fucking, I don't know, 23 years?
One lesson with Dave.
Yeah, right.
Sign me up. I'm coming in.
Sign up. In that case, half an hour, baby. I got you.
All right, perfect. Wow, I'm really getting the cheat codes here, aren't I? I am trying to ignore the chat a little bit, but Mal, I'm going to ask you to read the comment we just got.
Oh, wow, yeah. Everything I know about music, I learned from Rick Beato. That's the little voice I put on. And that is true. As far as my roommate Dana, yes. Everything she's learned about music, she's learned from Rick Beato. Because that's what we watch in the house. And sometimes we do drag her through those videos. She may not know what's going on, but she knows we don't really like that guy that much.
So like the I think Rick Beato.
Joel's seen the
Yes.
Expert Village videos.
Yes, those ones. Are you talking about the specific ones that have like barely any views? It's like a guy at the piano and he's...
There's a whole host of
Oh
them.
my gosh, yeah. There's a specific one where he does 5/4. That man does not play 5/4 on the piano. We'll have a watching party after the stream.
Yeah.
I think that the YouTube University thing going into like the idea of Rick Beato, I think that he can definitely give a lot of I guess it's maybe a little bit dismissive, but boomer issues from his content. So I mean, I feel similarly. Most of the time I don't like Rick Beato. I think what he does well is his interviews are pretty solid for the most part. But like,
Especially because he interviews people that don't often get interviewed.
yeah, that's very true. But like he definitely does the clickbaity titles where he'll like talk about like what's wrong with the music industry today. Is this like he had something about video games that I was like, I can't with you.
Yeah.
I can't with you. But yeah, you don't have to.
He said that kids don't like they're not engaged with music anymore because of video games.
Okay.
That's a very boomer thing to say.
It's just really good because like I mean I think it's funny because even just thinking I think I have kids who don't play video games and in lessons they want to learn like the Undertale soundtrack. They get super connected to songs that may go viral. They're on TikTok, they're everywhere. They don't even play that game. Their parents don't even allow them to play that game, but they like the music from it and they're probably on YouTube or Spotify even streaming it and listening to that.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that his example in that video game video was like the Mario Kart music. Like, but the Mario Kart music is like really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Why would you use that as your example for this? That is super weird. I don't understand like what the music that's happening in any Mario game is super fascinating, and kids know the names to those like super specific songs from each course. Like it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a very
They're probably not putting like Rainbow Road, 24-hour video to study,
yeah.
but they're definitely doing like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
soundtracks. Those are, those numbers in terms of like endless streams of just the hourly songs that replay in Animal Crossing. Tons of streams on those on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, I was yeah. That's where most of them went, because like I've tried to find those songs on Spotify or anywhere else, and they're just not there.
Yeah.
Or they're like really weird versions of those.
It's always
songs.
piano covers
Yeah.
of something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to upload the official one to Spotify. I'm sure. There's no.
They're gonna press that to vinyl.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking for the Super Smash Bros. OST. I'm just really hoping I
12
get the vinyl.
records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like that. The Doom soundtrack was pressed.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't have to go too much more into it. But there's, I think your hatred for Rick Beato is very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to like not talk about it and
No.
then come back to it. I just have to say, as far as the clickbaity titles, he did a stream yesterday. I'm saying, 1/22/23, and it was what pop music should sound like. And in 2 sentences, man, he was listening to a song from the latest Black Radio. It has Robert Glasper and Her. And he was saying, like, I really like the sound of it. This is what pop music should sound like. And then in the same video, he said that he doesn't know what neo soul is. Like, someone said it in the chat and was like, this is, this kind of has like a neo soul. Like, obviously people are talking about jazz. He's bringing up jazz voicings and stuff. And he doesn't know functionally what neo soul is, like in the modern music sphere. So honestly, I'm so glad that I saw that yesterday, because I probably would have had an argument in like many, many more paragraphs prepared. But I really think it can be kind of simplified to that, because it's like, if you're trying to make appeals to what you think pop music should sound like, and you don't know what pop music sounds like anymore,
Yeah.
it's just, it doesn't really like work. And I think that's kind of like just par for the course for his channel. Like
All his blind spots.
all his blind spots. Oh my gosh. I remember a few months ago, I think we were watching a video where he's talking about a Tears for Fears song. And he's like, how many songs from back then? And he's saying the 90s at that point. He's like, how many songs from back, or I guess the 80s. Oh my gosh, sorry. He's saying, how many songs from back then have an instrumental bridge? Girl, everything. Like, what do you not listen to from the 70s and 80s that you're saying that there's not instrumental bridges? Because I have a few answers and you're not going to like them. And then as far also as like his, what's great about this song, he has in that entire collection, I think very few women. And then only 2 Black people, 2 Stevie Wonder songs and 1 Seal song. And the whole Seal episode, I think I've said this before, but just the whole Seal video, he's just like, I can't believe Seal wrote this song. Like, I can't believe Seal has this awesome like pop song. I'm just like, why? Why are you so crazy about this? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's that on that. I think that there's definitely like space for it. I think these commenters sometimes I see are just so brainwashed by it. Like, they really, really think that he is super knowledgeable, but it's not presented in an accessible way. And I think he almost profits most certainly off of making that stuff kind of inaccessible, so that you have to get his materials, and you have to do that to figure out the much more. I would even really consider his stuff like definitely intermediate to advanced at all times.
Yeah,
he does
absolutely.
not do beginner things.
Yeah.
So in a way, yes, Jackson, he has baby shoes. But he's like, it's almost crazy because he's like pawning himself as the baby shoes, but really he's like a hard like work boot. And I don't know, there's no way for him to really talk accurately about that stuff at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you put it really well with he isn't accessible, but like he makes it seem as though like he kind of is the knower of all. And so like people who watch him are like, God, he's so smart.
Yeah.
He presents the topics, which like you said, aren't beginner topics, but still aren't like these like some of the stuff that Adam Neely talks about sometimes is like, this is really fucking heady. Like, this is hard to really digest if you don't have any sort of like music background. But like Break Beato doesn't really go that far most of the time. He'll just kind of say words quickly, like do like a do like a name salad thing, and then you're like, oh, cool, yep, like he's really smart, I guess, you know. But yeah, I think there's with all of these YouTubers that are out doing like the music education stuff, there's going to be something for everybody. It's just kind of differentiating like what is actually useful. Like I found an article that had a list of the best music theory YouTube channels. Hadn't heard of any of them except for Adam Neely, but it's because all of them are like intro level stuff. So like, and I was like, that's really cool. I guess this is like, you know, pretentious of me, but I would have no reason to look for that. So like, I know they existed, but they have like millions and millions of subscribers on them, and they post frequently. And so there's a lot of great resources out there for people who are trying to learn about music. So that's a really big plus, I think, for the music industry. YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like downside to that.
Yeah,
at least.
I mean, at least in terms of the theory stuff, I've had some students go like, "Hey, I figured out scales," and I'm like, "Oh."
I can see that, yeah.
And I'm like, "How did you figure them out?" And like from this video, and it's like some guy saying like, you know, like C is like brown, and it's a feeling, and I'm just like, well,
What
no,
the
C
fuck?
is like a fucking note, is a pitch. Like it's already figured out.
It's very specific, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess kind of backtracking it to this like, you know, he's not really a star, but he's gotten a lot bigger. And like YouTubers, like Jacob Collier is like somebody who is kind of fits into like both contents where he like makes like these cover videos. He also talks about music theory concepts, but he's like blown up from his YouTube channel and from his covers and stuff.
I think it didn't matter for Jacob Collier what avenue he took, he was going to blow up.
Yeah, for sure. God, C is brown.
Yeah, it's just some weird shit like that, and I'm like, no, because I always tell students like watch everything you can and soak in all the resources. Just because you have an instructor doesn't mean that's where you stop learning.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, okay, but not that channel.
Yeah, it's always tough when you're looking at the resources. Like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. So we've talked about some of the negatives, but there are just a few more negatives about YouTube and the music industry that I have here. So what?
We talked about some of the negatives, and so
here's
here
some
are more negatives.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we pretty much covered all that I have on this, but just kind of like rehashing like the payment system. It's pretty much the same amount per stream as Spotify is, which it isn't ideal.
Well, which is like the worst, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing is that the platform is bigger, right? So you have more opportunity with that. But with that platform being bigger, you have things like Friday, like you mentioned earlier. And, you know, I don't know if things like Friday would have been as bad if it was just released on Spotify.
Yeah.
If Rebecca Black would have had as much of like a hard time as she did if it was just something on Spotify kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
There's no way to
especially
know.
because you can more easily share a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Anyone can go listen to that. If somebody sends me a Spotify link and I'm not a Spotify user, I'm not going to listen to it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll go find it somewhere else and listen to it there maybe. But
yeah, there's no way to know that, but it just feels like based on the user base and based on like the fact that pretty much everybody does know how to use YouTube, it makes it a little bit crazier. It's like there's another example of a song last year. Did you guys see that song Red Dress by Sarah Brand? Did you guys see that one?
No.
Okay, I'll send that one. If I send it to you, you'll watch it. It's a super duper cringe, like horrible song. The music video is terrible, and it's like this like, you know, I don't know how much like bullying happened to this person from that, but like if it was just on Spotify, it might not have ever been seen.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Like Jackson mentioned in the chat, Tazon Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other aspect of that sound is seeing who's producing the sound. It's like, oh, you look like a young boy.
Yeah. extra layers of bullying with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you wrote Chocolate Rain. That's crazy. I think with Rebecca Black too, like, I remember, you know, all of that stuff is rooted in production companies. They were more than happy to like, oh, you want your kid to be a pop star? Pay us XYZ amount of money. We're writing this song for you. We're producing the music video. So you're taking like the means of production for these music videos and taking it out of like specific MTV. Like most people don't have the budget for this.
Right.
And then, you know, you can kind of ipso facto turn your kid into a pop star, and I mean, there's quite a few, like, I think kind of meme songs that unfortunately happen to young women, kind of very similar to Rebecca Black. Like, I think there's like a Thanksgiving meme song that 100% probably same production company,
was
quite
same
actually.
production. It was the
Yeah,
same one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was the same one. Yeah, I mean, like like those things aren't necessarily like YouTube. It's not like YouTube's to blame for those things, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's just that like the platform is so huge, and people go to that platform for so much. And when it has 2 billion users listening to music on it, and you have like this song on it, I mean, probably people are going to hear it. It's pretty likely, So it's just tough. And I mean, Rebecca Black, she's great example of like turning shit around because
she's got a very solid following right now on TikTok. I don't even know if she does music steadily. She does.
She does. Wow. Yeah. And one of my favorite bands, Man, opened up for her on tour, and she was
What?
she was on the last Man album.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Wow.
she's but her music is still leaning in that pop direction. So it's like a really weird connection there. But yeah, she still does music. She is very active on TikTok. She's she's just very active on social media. I remember I don't think we've ever talked about him on the show, but she retweeted the Andrew Tate music video that's going around of Mr. Plenty is his song. And it is god awful. And she was like, I was 13 when I made Friday. What's your fucking excuse?
Yeah. Andrew Tate's like, I know exactly how old you were when you made Friends.
Take another one.
Boom.
But yeah, so I mean, YouTube's not to blame for
No.
these things.
I think like in the same way that MTV was the first music video thing, where kind of the gimmick of it. Oh my gosh, I was watching the ZZ Top documentary on Netflix recently.
Oh, it's so good.
They have that bit where they like discover MTV, and I forget who it was to who, but I want to say it was Billy Gibbons is like calling their drummer, and he's like, dude, you've got to like check into this program that's happening. It's like a special only on music. And so it's like super late at night. The drummer like watches, and then he calls back to Billy, and he's like, dude, when's this thing over? Like, I got to go to bed. And then they learn it's just continual. It's just happening. And I think MTV was that. And then in the modern era, like YouTube becomes MTV on demand. Like you can watch whatever music videos specifically that you want to when you want to. And definitely 100% YouTube is like the precursor to streaming for any music service, I think, for sure. Even though, I mean, Spotify was around definitely before or concurrently with YouTube, but I don't really think they got traction until about 2006. And YouTube was like 2004 or 5 or something like that. So very similar.
Well, you had like
That's a really good point, actually, that it like got everybody okay with streaming music, for example.
Because you could do it on demand. You can do whatever song. You could watch the same song over and over. It's not like, oh, I watched this music video on TV and now it's on to the next one, and I just have to be lucky and hope that other music video comes up again. Or on the radio, I've got to be lucky and hope that song comes up again.
Yeah, it was like that in between of like the iTunes store where you could like buy a song and keep playing it, and then before you had Spotify. Isn't buying music just a crazy idea, right?
It's just the scene from The Office when Michael's listening to that song, "You Have Been the One," and he's crying, and Dwight's like, "Why don't you just buy the song?" He's like, "No, this is my favorite part," or whatever it is.
The little like sample clip.
Did you see that Billie Eilish thought that U2 was from Scranton because of
The Office.
Huh?
She's a huge fan of The Office.
Yeah, seen it countless
I
times.
mean, I could assume that. I was
There's like
assuming
one
she's not a big
sentence.
fan of you too. So
there's one scene where it's after Michael Scott meets Holly, and he's like, Jim walks in. Michael's like, I think I'm in love with Holly. Who's that one band that made it big out of Scranton? He's like looking for like a song, like a mixtape to make her. And Jim goes, U2, and it's just a throwaway joke.
sure,
it.
yeah.
And Billie Eilish thought that, and she admitted it on the Office Ladies podcast. It's great.
That really just says all you need to know about the relevance of U2.
Are they British? I don't know.
They're
they're
Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. That was a guess on my part. I
pretty
genuinely didn't
close.
know.
That's
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely, if you haven't watched It Might Get Loud, you should have a night where you just sit and watch that documentary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a toughie.
Well,
Yeah.
for
It's
multiple
not for
reasons.
good. Yeah.
Should I watch it with or without you?
Oh.
You gave yourself a cancel buck from that.
I took it proudly.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Souvenir, yeah.
The point was to get a cancel bug. Okay,
It was a
that's
joke
good.
that would have made our boss laugh. So.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cool. Well, I don't have too much else about this. I feel as though the impact of YouTube in the music industry is pretty much mostly positive. I feel like the access to music, like you said, is really huge. I feel like the access to music education and the history. I didn't even think about the history of like all that stuff. So I there's the ability is endless to watch music, take in music, get live music, all sorts of stuff. I even had a student tell me when Metallica announced their tour, they were trying to get tickets. And he's like, "Man, I'm just gonna watch it on YouTube." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
yeah,
I'm getting pretty close to the point where I'm like, I'd rather just watch a live concert.
Like
on
a
YouTube.
live recording of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the Taylor Hawkins like tribute show they did in LA.
Yeah.
They filmed that. It's going to come out at some point. I'm kind of glad I'll get to watch that instead of going to it, honestly. Because
Yeah.
you and I both tried to like see if we could buy tickets to it. And
yeah. Well, and we've both traveled for Foo Fighters already. So
right.
you know,
Which
it's
that
like-
was cool, but I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't do that again. I'd just watch the recording because they're probably going to film whatever these new shows are they're doing, for example. So
I might be doing it again, but
I mean, I might if it makes sense, but I'm not going to go.
yeah. Well, because like Cal Jam was something that was like Foo Fighters and Queens of Stone
Yeah.
Age. It was a big thing, but yeah. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to the YouTube and music industry thing? before we move
I mean,
on?
it comes back to the same thing where artists still aren't making enough money from
Yeah.
all of those platforms.
But
Yeah.
the potential benefits of it at YouTube make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than at Spotify, for example.
I think numbers wise, people who are music YouTubers might make more money off of their videos, like long form videos, versus like small time indie musicians, because you're looking for the length more than anything. That was definitely the old version model of YouTube. I mean, you would have had to have had a song over 10 minutes to get any ad revenue, period. And now they've laxed, like those rules are different, but at the same time, I mean, unless you have like a tiny desk style video in production and value and length, you're not really going to be getting that ad revenue from it. So very, very interesting like line to kind of toe as far as like how artists
Yeah.
can get money for their content.
Well, you can monetize YouTube Shorts now. That is
Really?
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, you can monetize YouTube Shorts. So there's a lot more options for smaller YouTubers if they're because YouTube Shorts, they blow up just like TikToks do, where it's like super random, just like all of a sudden there's just you get a lot of views. So
It was not YouTube related, but it was super interesting to see on TikTok how they really, I think, very well monetize like the kind of sound option, right?
Yeah.
Like, because in the beginning it was very much like, well, my song's being used and it's not credited to me at all. Like, how do I get the funds from that? And then they really did like make into their app like a section where it's like, you're the official artist, here are all your official sounds. And then they created those algorithms to identify if you have like a user generated sound that maybe has like slightly different clip of this song, that they can say like, well, our algorithms detected that this features part of this Lotto song. And so therefore Lotto is going to get those streams. And I feel like hopefully I would hope that in the same way, just being a TikToker generally is honestly like pretty good side hustle these days.
Yeah.
That being a musician who creates sounds, and in a strange way, not even music. I mean, people who just make sounds of their voice, like these, a lot of them, I think people can argue, are kind of like angled to have a punchline or a meme or a joke at the end. But I mean, there's kind of a genuine non-musical industry now for people who get viral sounds, not even viral songs. Like, you're talking viral sound clips right now.
Yeah.
Blow this up. RN. So
Blow it up.
Blow it up. On my TikTok. It's just crazy. I mean, it blows my mind. I think it just gets so micro, and I'm glad. I mean, I would want any clip that is, copyrighted or whatever. If it's going to get you money, then that's all that stuff is for anyway. So
yeah. Cool. Well, should we talk about what we're listening to?
Sure.
Cool. I'll go first. I'm pretty much just listening to singles that are new. The new Boy Genius singles off their album that's called The Record, which is their debut record. $20, Emily, I'm Sorry, and True Blue. All three are amazing. I was like, I'll just give it a listen. I don't know if I'll like it or not. It's not always my thing, but they're amazing songs. And then the new Fall Out Boy single is actually pretty good. So I'm excited. The weird thing about that is that the guitar player announced he's leaving the band the day that the single came out. So he recorded the album. He's like, he said he's most proud of this album of all the Fall Out Boy albums. He's most proud of this one. He said he can't do it again. He can't do the touring cycle. He can't be a part of the release thing again.
That's fair. If you're going to be done, go out on top.
Yeah.
So.
As long as there's no bad blood and he gave them enough notice.
I'm
right,
sure
to
I'm
be
sure.
able to go on
I
tour.
think they did a late night appearance though, and it was just a trio. It was weird. But and I'm sure he gave them enough notice. I'm sure it wasn't a surprise.
But is everybody else still the same?
Yeah, the original lineup has not changed.
No.
Yeah. It's at least as far as I know. So I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. He's a great guitar player. I mean, he's in the Damned Things, and Damned Things are awesome. So
Yeah, they are awesome.
yeah, that's what I got.
I haven't been listening to anything.
God fucking damn it.
Nothing new.
Sure.
Just Dawes.
Just Dawes.
Constantly.
Just Dawes.
And shit, I got to learn.
Nice. Album?
Speaking of singles, I only have one thing, and it's the Nationals' new single, Tropic Morning News.
There's a lot of crazy people that are going to be on their album. I saw that list.
Yeah, Jackson and I were talking off the show about that and about how this is already like album of the year contender for both of us probably. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds great. It sounds like older songs of the National. Not that their new stuff is bad. It's just less. It feels wrong, kind of, to me. It doesn't feel like they're how they started, and this feels like a going back to that and like producing it more, doing what they want to do, obviously. So it sounds great. I'm
Nice.
very interested. I think it comes out in March, maybe May. Jackson will tell us if we're wrong, but
He said you love Ireland.
Do you love Ireland?
the National from Ireland.
He says Adam love Ireland. It's unrelated. I think it was when
I think it's the
U2
green
came out.
mic.
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, that's fair.
That's it
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
job.
Mallory.
I've been listening to the new Metro Boomin album for a good month now. It's super good. And then yesterday, or maybe Friday, at Touring Watt released the 10-year anniversary of Anything in Return, and it's just the instrumentals. And I never knew I wanted that, but I rented it really bad, and it's great. I love it. Anything where there's not words, like I can't read or write or do anything with words if there's words in the background. So
Sure.
it's perfect. I mean, it's just like trance-like, and his rhythmic feel is so cool. It's great to listen to that, sans the lyrical content, because it just adds you take away an element and adds a whole new element. I mean, you just see how crazy it is. The grid does not exist. It's just crazy.
That's so cool.
So very good listen.
That's awesome. Anybody have anything else?
I just think about how much it would suck if someone was like, oh yeah, they re-released Moniker stuff with that bass on it, and take it away. It's so much better.
Take away that element, adds 7 elements.
It makes it so much better.
So much better. Yeah. So much better. Anybody have anything they want to plug?
Any gigs?
Any gigs? Any socials? Anything like that?
No.
You don't want to plug anything?
No,
Nice.
I don't have anything
Perfect.
coming up.
Perfect.
I'm playing in Fort Worth with my band Smothered at Tulips.
Nice.
It's fun.
When?
It's a really cool bill. Next Saturday, so the 28th, with Doomfall and a bunch of other bands. Super fun.
Is that not stock thing? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I think,
Cool.
a local collective is kind of shutting its doors, I believe. So it's kind of like a big brouhaha of ending that chapter. Very, very
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. And Tulips is an awesome venue. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you for being here with us, Mallory. We appreciate
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
it.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. This is great. This is great.
Yay.
Jackson's out of here. Your full-time
Yeah, welcome to the
replacement.
show.
Yeah, welcome to
Woohoo.
the show.
Sorry, Jackson.
We'll have him be a guest for emo music. He can
For
teach us
when
all
you're
about
out.
it.
Yeah.
When you're out. You can say, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe whatever podcast app you are using. That way, when we upload new stuff, you'll know. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. As Jackson says, it's free. If you're on social media, you can follow us at DFTA Podcast on Instagram. Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. If you have any topic suggestions, you want to tell us something cool that you're listening to, you want to yell at us about a hot take, or just say hi, you can email us at welcome to the show, Mal, at don'tfeedtheartist.com. Or you can DM us on any of the socials I listed, or comment on YouTube. We would love to hear from everybody.
Except Jackson.
Except Jackson. Thank you guys so much again. We really appreciate it. And
Nope.
that's not it.
Get rid of town!
Let's try that again. Hold on, wait.
Fuck off! Get rid of town!
What was the first one?
He put his voice
Yep.
I did that one. He went, no, it's not it.
That would have worked.
Wait, do it again and let Mallory talk.
Thanks, and don't feed the artist.
Thanks, everybody.